Hey, planner friends. I know it has been a while, so I wanted to show you how I made this planner. And I'm going to do a very brief, super quick flip through of this thing just for a second here. And I'll show you how I put all of this together. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, so I'm so excited to be back after over a year since I've posted my last video. I have been super busy, honestly, just with work and life, and I kind of felt like doing my planner stuff on video was doing it more for videos rather than doing it for myself. So I took the time to just plan for me. But I did want to put this video together because I do get a lot of questions of how I make my planners, because each and every one of them is customized exactly to me and my needs. So I'm pausing on the screen here so you can take a screenshot. This tells you what my Excel is going to be set to, and all of this is going to make more sense in just a second. Alright, so I'm going to be showing you how to set up the pages for a classic size happy planner dupe, I guess you would say. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with the page layout, and we're going to set our margins. We're going to do custom margins of 1 inch all around. And then we're going to get rid of the header and the footer. And I'm going to set it in print view so we have an idea of what this page is going to look like. All of this extra stuff is going to get cut away so that it will fit that classic planner size. Next, we're going to set our columns to the correct width. And I'm doing every other one because the ones in between, we're going to have them leave a little bit of space. So these ones are going to be column width 0.78 inches, and the ones in between are going to be really, really skinny just to give us that little amount of space. So we're going to set those at 0.04. And we've got one more. This one is going to be again 0.04, and these last two are also going to be 0.78. So now you see that this is our 2 pages that we're going to be working with. Next, I'm going to set the rows. So row 1, and let me grab my little cheat sheet out here. Okay, so row 1, actually row 1 and 2, I'm going to set those to 0.32 inches. Let's do it the easy way so it actually sets 0.32. Rows 3 and 4, I'm going to set these to 0.35. And then rows 5, 6, and 7, these are going to be our big ones. They're going to be 2.75 inches. And here you'll start to see that it's looking a little bit like the vertical layout of Happy Planner. I'm going to combine some of these. I'm going to merge these cells. And honestly, I had a reason why I had them split up. Don't ask me now because I don't remember exactly why I had them split, but there was a reason for it. So this is the way that I'm going to show you. So the top ones are going to be our date. The next one is going to be the day of the week. And I'm not just clicking and dragging that all the way across because our margins are set to, our columns are set to different widths. And then this last section here, rows 3 and 4, I'm going to combine and merge all 4 of those little boxes here. And I originally did that because I had two different things I was fitting in here, but then I ended up just doing one item, but I still like to keep everything kind of the same as what I've done in the past. And then we're just going to copy and paste this over into the different sections here. Oops. Delete that, and there we go. And now we can select these. And actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do every box outlined individually. And this one I can drag down. And then I'll just copy and paste it. I want to leave that little tiny bit of room in between, just so it looks a little bit prettier. And actually, I'm going to undo that real quick. I forgot to leave this one blank. So we're going to do just like this. And these are going to be flipped. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is going to be on our right side. And then Thursday through Sunday is going to be on the left. And the reason for that is because of the way that this is all going to be printed out. So I'm going to start off here and we'll just type those days in. Remember to leave this one blank because this is our free column. We're going to put some other stuff in here. All right, and then I can type in the number of days. So we're just gonna start with a 1. So we'll do 1, 2, and 3, and then 4, 5, 6, and 7. So these next boxes right here, I like to do the daily holidays. And I just go to my favorite website, I'll find whatever the holiday is, and then I will type in here. And I like having a little star next to it, so I'm gonna put in a symbol. We'll do a little star, and it might be National Rose Day. So we're going to type that as an example. And the rest of these boxes, I'm just leaving these blank because I will write in them, or whoever will be writing in them for their planner. Here I'm going to put in the month. So again, I can merge these cells. And let's just do January. Oops. And you can change up the font. You can make it as pretty as you want. Do pretty much whatever makes you happy. And then in these boxes, the ones that I recently did for a planner for a college student, I put in things like things to do this week. And then if you are on a Mac, you will press Option Enter, and then it will give you some more space to continue writing down below. And I'm going to enter some boxes. And then again, I'll press Option Enter, Enter, insert another box. Or we can do this the simpler way. We can just do a Control C for copy, Option Enter, Enter, and I can keep on posting those little boxes all the way down. And then I will have this set or aligned to the left side, and then here's my little to-do list. For the next box, I said things to focus on next week. So we'll do for next week. And the last box is gratitude for the week. And then I will align both of these to the top. And then you can either center them or you can have them aligned left, whatever makes you happy. I also like to have these boxes stand out a little bit. So I'm going to do a border, but I'll change up the line style. So let's do this dotted dashed one here for this one. And maybe we'll do the same thing for the other two, just for purposes of this tutorial here. And let's zoom out. And now you can see both of those pages set up right here. And I'm going to super speed through this next section. Here I'm just going in to fill in all of the important days on the calendar or inside of the actual planner pages. This is for a girl that's going to college. So I looked up her school schedule and I put in all of those important dates like the start of instruction, any academic breaks, holidays, all of that good stuff. I also put in some Jewish holidays because she is Jewish, so I wanted to make sure to include all of those in there as well. And this is just to kind of give her a little reminder that, hey, something exciting is happening. This might be a great time to reach out to your parents, give them a call, reach out to your friends. And of course, having all of those important school days is going to help her keep a little bit better track of her academic year as it goes through. And again, super sped up. I know you can't really see too much detail in here, but the important part is just getting the things onto the planner. Next, we're going to do an assignment page. So this is to help plan kind of what the upcoming assignments are and the dates that they are due and a little checkbox for when they're going to complete it. I kind of just played around with the margins on this just to kind of figure out, what fits best on the page. Again, all of the margins on this page are set to the same exact ones that are here for the rest of the planner. So I can just kind of play around and see what fits, give a little bit more space on the more important things like the assignment details. And then for the done column, this is just going to be little check boxes, so I don't need to make it any fancier than it's going to get. I'm going to speed up the rest of this video here just to kind of get us going. So there's the little check boxes, click and drag that all the way down. I typed in the assignment tracker up on top. I don't know why I decided to double up on this. I could have just did one row and made the row bigger. I don't know. Don't ask me. My brain works in weird ways. I expanded the columns a little bit to give some more space for all of that writing, but then later you'll see that I delete some of them. And then I decided that I'm just going to change things up and not do class for each of the different assignments. I'll just do a class for the entire page. So here you see me getting rid of that class column, and that gives more space for the assignment details. I added a couple of fancy lines for the class and the semester, and that was it for this page. All right, so I'm not going to show you exactly how I set up this page, but here's a little cheat sheet for you. This is the calendar divider pages that go in between the different months. All of the margins have been set the same as with all of the previous sheets in this document to 1 inch all the way around and 0 for header, 0 for footer. So the columns are going to be set to 1.25 inches. You'll select them up on top and then click and drag them to the correct width. And then the rows, we're going to do row 1 and also rows 3 through 7. They're all going to be the same at 1.1 inches. And then for the second row, you can adjust it and play around with it a little bit based on how much space you have. So right now I think I have it at 0.42. I can make it even a little bit bigger if we would like, as long as it doesn't fall off the page and roll over to the next one, and you can play around with this. I'm going to scroll through just a little bit. Here you'll see all of those different months that are coming up. So this next page, this is the semester overview, and here you can put stuff like your daily schedule, like for example you have a class from 7 to 9 a.m. You can highlight this out, write whatever class, and then just kind of do a little bit of color blocking in here. Just have a weekly visual of all of your set things. I'm not going to go through in too much detail. You can play around with the different widths of the rows and the columns, and you can put whatever times you want. I don't really know the exact schedule of this girl, so I figured better to start on the earlier side, so I set it at 6 a.m. and college kids usually like to have things planned way late, so I did it all the way up to 12 a.m. Just for fun, I will show you that the different columns Monday through Sunday, those have been set to 1.01. You can actually make them a little bit bigger, not too much bigger. I don't want that semester falling off. There we go. So now they are at 1.03. I've got the column for the semester at 0.83, and then the times are at 0.71. All of the rows have been set to 0.35 inches, and again, if you want to make it less time than all of these hours, you can make those a little bit bigger and give yourself a little bit more space to color block and write the things in that you need to write. And here is the overview of all of the different tabs that I have. This first one is that semester overview, and just to double check my margins, make sure everything is right. I've got 1 inch all around, 0 for header, 0 for footer. And here I have them on 2 sheets. I ended up printing, I think, 3 different pages so she can do 6 different semesters, or in case she messes up. Here's the calendars from 2023 all the way through 2026. And all of these little tabs are those different months. This last one is the year overview. Usually people will use this for like writing in birthdays and reminders, and it shows up as blank on those little lines. Here's all of the different calendars. Those are going to go into the tab dividers that I am making. And this last one is the assignment tracker. I did end up adding another row for the due date. And here I am getting into the actual slicing and dicing of the pages. I made all of these actually on a previous day, but I messed up on a couple of the pages. So of course I had to reprint them because this planner is not going to be for me. This is for a gift, and I really just want to make sure that everything is exactly the way that it needs to be. And here I am just again double checking just to make sure that everything is exactly lined up and I have all of my measurements correct, which I did, but you know, sometimes your brain tells you, wait a second, it better double check before you get frustrated again and have to reprint everything. This paper slicer that I'm using, at first, when I first got this thing, I was so frustrated with it. I've actually had it for a number of years now, and you've seen me using it in my previous videos. But it doesn't line up exactly where you think things are going to line up. So it's really important to use those measurements up at the top there to get everything exactly where you need it to be. Otherwise, you might end up accidentally slicing across a piece of paper that you actually need that part of it. So after many frustrating attempts, I figured out, and I've now mastered using that ruler guide to my advantage. And I do make my planner pages a little bit bigger or a little bit wider than the original classic planner. I make mine to 7¼ inches rather than 7, just because it gives me a little tiny bit more room for when I do the hole punch. I'm not accidentally punching into like one of the lines or going into something that I don't want to get hole punched. And of course I had to fix my hole punch there because it was getting overly full. So finally I get to finish those couple of pages and we'll get to stick them back into the planner where they belong. And I'll take out the ones that were cut a little too small and just easily replace them. Oh, Happy Planner makes me happy. The disc bound system is just so easy to use that it makes everything so much easier and quicker rather than having a disc bound or a spiral bound planner where you wouldn't be able to do all of this customizable stuff. Anyways, so we're moving on to doing all of the divider pages. And I print these on a thick cardstock. These are packs that I get from like places like Michael's or Hobby Lobby. And you probably have seen these. You probably know what I'm talking about. A lot of them come in like kind of a set that it's a specific theme. And this theme for this one was called Dark Academia. I got it at Michael's. And I thought it was really appropriate for a college student. And so I'm slicing up these dividers, and I am making them purposefully a little bit bigger than what my pages are because I need the tabs to stick out on the side. I also did something cool with the tabs, which was not my original idea. I took it from Happy Planner. I found I believe it's called a work planner, and the reason I got it was because I had really pretty silver discs, metal discs to it. And I really wanted to use those in the future. Plus it was last year, so it was on clearance. So here's all of the really, really pretty papers. And now I'm holding up my little guide that I created based on the current planner that I am using. And this is to help me with all of those different tab placements. And you'll see in a second, this just makes a lot more sense to me, and it makes things a lot easier. So I've got little lines marked 1 through 4. So I know that for the 4 months, I'm going to be slicing and dicing things. And then for the 5th month, I don't have to do any cuts at all, which again, just makes it easier and quicker for everything. So this first one, I'll start off with January, and it's really important to go in order just so you don't confuse yourself. And then you'll see me going in a backwards order when I do the cutting of things. And again, just to make sure I don't confuse things, and it just makes it easier for me to do it this way. So I set it off to about 1/4 of an inch, and then here I realized, wait a second, I gotta make this a little tiny bit bigger. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to slice off just that little tiny bit more. It ended up being 1/4 of an inch. And then I just cut to that last line, the last marking that I have created. And of course, my cat decides that he needs to be on the desk and supervising, as he usually does. It's okay, I forgive him because he is cute. He did manage to get some of his cat hair in all of my stuff, but no problem. Got rid of that. So here is my 3rd tab, and then we're back at January, which is the top tab. And in just a moment, you'll see how all of these are now just cascading down rather than doing those individual tabs that all stick out. These ones just nicely cascade down the page. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish up everything else, all the rest of the 12 months. And then it's time for the hole punching. So the height of these vertically, they are the same as all of the rest of the pages. And it's the same as Happy Planner. I think it's at 9¼ inches, I believe. And the width of these is a little bit bigger than Happy Planner. And that just, again, makes it a little bit easier for me because I don't want to accidentally cut things off, things that I printed. I don't want to accidentally hole punch them. And I did make that mistake. You'll see that coming up in just a moment here when I show you how I did the covers. And just the process of inserting and flipping. And now you also kind of see a little bit of a flip through of this planner. All of the pages really are the same. The things that change are the daily holidays that I have added in, and also those important school dates for the university that this girl is going to. And I also included Jewish holidays to represent her faith. So it's a little hard to see what all of those insides look like, but you can always rewind this video back and you can see what all of them look like inside of the Google Sheets or the Excel. Okay, so I wanted to make a sample cover, just a little play around with one. But then, of course, I got sidetracked and I found some pretty papers. And one of the sides I wanted to be this. And then the other side, the back side, I wanted to be a little more plain. That was the idea, with maybe having something like this somewhere and then the girl's name in gold letters across it. But of course, this side got me thinking, I've got to make this side a little bit more exciting. So I found these sample papers here, and I think I'm going to end up using this one because it matches the best with all of these. I wanted to have some writing, so I was thinking of doing this one, but it might be just a little too green, although it does match with some of the items on here. But let's put that aside for now. Since this black is kind of a brownish black, I thought these flowers might be nice. And then this one, it's a little too colorful, so I think I'm gonna really put that one way off on the side. And then this one just seemed really fun. I don't know if I can really mix these guys together very well. I don't know if that goes, but let's see what happens. First step is going to be to cut these guys down to the correct size. So let's do that first. And then I have this other sheet on here that I can cut out some more of these little things and stick it on there however it might fit. Oh, and please don't mind my nails. My 5-year-old niece decided that she was going to paint them, so didn't quite have a chance to undo all of her doing yet. And these are the covers that I have planned originally for the insides. There's a very nice little message from her dad on this one. This is going to be the main outside, and then this one was going to be the back cover. I don't know which one I like better, so I don't know which way exactly I'm going to face them. But first things first, let's measure to make sure that I have it exactly the size that I need it to be. Okay. And I'm going to speed through this part because I don't want to waste anybody's time. This video is long enough already. So of course I had to double check and measure, make sure I'm getting all of those cuts exactly the way that I need them to be. And then here comes the fun part. I haven't done a ripped look ever on a planner cover. And so this took a little bit of playing around with the different pieces of paper just to see what goes well together and what should go where. But it ended up looking really, really cute. So I'm super excited about the way that this finally ended up turning out. So I did the 3 different corners that were ripped. And then I'm going to go in and use my tape glue. And this tape glue that I'm using here was a backup one. I ended up running out of my usual one. So I was a little frustrated with this little guy here, but it's okay. It worked. Plus everything is going to get laminated anyway, so it wasn't a big deal as to which one I'm using. And then I went in with my gold stickers for putting her name together. And I thought using a ruler was going to make things easier, but this isn't usually the ruler that I have laying around. Since this one is made of wood, the stickers didn't really like sticking to it very well. So they ended up moving around a little bit, which got slightly frustrating, but it ended up working just fine. And then I glued that down. Of course, had my cat walk over the place a couple of times. And the important thing here, which I didn't do, is really making sure that those 2 pages stick together well. I didn't use too much of the glue, and I definitely will do it next time. And I'm just going through and laminating it. And I made another mistake here by using the 5mm setting, which I should have used the 3, but live and learn. I ran it over the laminator one more time after this. All right, there we go. Well, this looks pretty nice. And I think I'm going to run it through the laminator just one more time because you can see that there's little edges still here. And I feel like if I cut it too close, it's going to, I don't know, maybe undo everything. So we'll run it in the other way. All right, I tried not to pull on it. I kind of did at the end there because I wasn't sure how close it was or if it was done. So here is the covers. Now I'm just gonna slice them up and punch them, and I really like the way that this one turned out, so I'm really glad that I decided to do a test page even though I didn't really need to, because everything turned out just exactly how it was supposed to. All right, so I've got the first set of covers that I laminated, and then I laminated the original cover that I had made. I also added on some, a couple more things on here, and I made some, I guess you'd call them bookmarks. So I'm gonna start off by cutting these out just to see how close to the border I can get. And if this one falls apart, not a big deal, but I want to save the cover, so these are going to be my test run for slicing and dicing. And I sped all of this up times 8, so wanted to make sure that this goes by really quickly. It was a little bit tricky to slice the little clear parts. You really have to look and make sure that you're getting it exactly where you want it to be sliced and not getting it too close, because there is that little bit of that bubble that forms around the very edge, and you don't want to cut into that bubble because that's where it's going to start to separate, which it did on one of those bookmarks. But I decided that I'm going to run everything through the laminator a couple more times just to make sure everything sticks, and that seemed to work, and hopefully it will be able to hold everything up. And I did go in with my scissors to give those nice rounded edges. I didn't want to do that with the punch just because the punch might mess something up. And I know the scissors aren't the most perfect way, but I think that it turned out pretty good. Okay, so I am going to run all of them through the laminator one more time because, again, I cut a little bit too close over here. So we'll see what that does, and hopefully it will fix everything so that we can put this planner together. All right, so I've ran everything through the laminator one more time. It does seem to be a little bit more sturdy now. And I'm going to go ahead and punch these, and we will put our final planner together. Now, these are a little bit thick, so I'm not sure how well the Happy Planner punch is going to do with it. So again, I'm going to test it out on the little tab dividers here. Ooh, that felt like I was almost going to break my punch. So I'm actually going to get out my crocodile punch in order to finish this up. And this is my crocodile punch here. This is really heavy duty. Don't mind the cat hair. So I'm going to use this as a guide to get me started, and then we'll go from there. And this one does have a little guide on here too, so you can line up the holes. I just want to make sure that I get the first one. Let's see, how the heck am I going to do this? There we go. Just want to make sure I'm getting the first one exactly on point. Oh wait, this is a little nerve-wracking. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I did it exactly. Oh, I just realized this one is slightly bigger than this one. But that's okay. All right, so that lines up almost perfectly. But it is now easy sailing from here. So I'll just line this up like that, and we will continue on. All right, so here's our 2 bookmarks. And once they're in, they're not going to be right next to each other. Oh no, I messed up. Oh man, I forgot to. Oh no. That's because I hole punched that using the real one. All right, well, that's why we're going to toss that one out, and she's just going to have 1 bookmark. Maybe I'll have to make 1 more. We'll see. So to make it easier on myself, I am going to use the Crocodile, which is fairly close, if not almost identical to what the Happy Planner punch is, because I really don't want to break the big Happy Planner punch. This is a little bit more time consuming, but honestly, it just makes things a lot easier. The hardest part is lining up that very first one, and then everything else, you see that little guide. So it makes everything else, all of the other pages, pretty much a breeze to complete. All right, so all of our covers are done. And I am going to include that 1 extra one for her so she can switch things out if she would like. And let's put our planner together. Now that it's done, we can get rid of this temporary one from Happy Planner. I wanted to keep all of the pages nice and safe. So we're going to go with this one first. This is going to be the back of the planner. And then we have our 2 front covers. So I'll actually stick this one in here first. A little bookmark. And then this is the cover where her dad wrote the nice little note for her. And then here's the extra cover. And here is the finished planner. So I'd like to do a little flip through of everything now that it's all complete. Here is our first cover. I really like the way it came out. Actually, I think I might do one for myself like this for this year. And here is the bonus cover, and not really a bonus cover. This was going to be the original because her dad wrote a nice little note. Our bookmark. And then here we have the semester schedule. So if she wants to do some planning this way, and I've included a few pages of this. Here we have an assignment tracker where she can put in whatever class it is, what the semester, the date it was assigned, some details, a due date, and a little checkbox for when it's complete. And there's plenty of these for plenty of classes. And then we come to the full calendars for 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. And then here's the monthly overview. Usually people use this to track birthdays or stuff like that. And then we get into the actual planner. I've got the month just on one page. This is different than how Happy Planner usually does it. I found that this works the best for me. This is the way that I like to plan. Hopefully she's gonna find use of this one too. And then in the same Happy Planner style, we have all of the different we have all of those different pages. This is the vertical layout. I've included daily holidays just to give something to look forward to. And then on the inside, we have this little section for things to focus on for next week, and also included a little section for gratitude of the week. And of course, she can white it out, put stickers all over here if she doesn't find this section useful. I also included all of the important school things, like the spring semester begins for them on January 9th. And I looked up the calendar online to see all of those important dates. We've got our instruction begins on the 16th. And I've also included some Jewish holidays because her father is Jewish. So I included Tu B'Shvat on here. You'll also find all of the other holidays as you go through the different months. I'm not going to go through everything here. We'll just do a quick flip through. I like to have the tabs. I actually copied this out of a Happy Planner work planner idea. So the tabs are here on the side and you can flip through with ease, I guess you could say. And I don't like to have the individual tabs. I feel like this is a lot cleaner of a look. So there it is. And we'll close this on up, and here's that back cover that we just put together. And I'm actually going to flip this one over so that when she first opens this up, she will see this cover and then that sweet little note from her father. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully this will inspire me to post more videos in the future.